How's it going, guys, and welcome to today's video. If you followed the channel for a while, then chances are you are familiar with the calf that we have out here on the ranch that has simply become known as the bottle calf. The bottle calf is part of a set of twins that I had out here back in March, and what happened was actually pretty common in cattle. When they have twins, they'll oftentimes mother up with the stronger of the two and go off and leave the weaker one by itself. So when I found him out in the pasture, mother was nowhere to be found, and he came right up to me looking for something to eat. Now, usually once this happens and mom's already made up her mind, there's not a very good chance that you're going to get her to take him back. It's not impossible, but in this case, I didn't think it was worth the effort. So what we ended up doing was bringing him home and raising him on the bottle. After having him in our backyard at our house for a little while and raising him on the bottle, as one might expect, he did become a little bit of a pet, but it wasn't long when it became a little bit too much having him in the backyard, and I decided that he would be better off coming back here to the ranch to be with the other cows and grow up as a cow. I hoped that he might eventually kind of pair up with one of the cows out here. A lot of times some of the cows are a little bit relaxed about who they'll let nurse, but the problem with him is that he had actually never nursed off of a cow before. He had only ever had a bottle, so he didn't even have a thought in his head to go try to nurse on a cow. Over the last few months, I've noticed that while he does mix in with the herd, he's never just quite been one of them. He always just has kind of had a little bit of a different attitude. He's always very friendly to people, and I think that he thinks he belongs with people a little bit more than he belongs with the other cows. Even during the time that we had him at the house and he was sort of kind of wiggling his way into our hearts.
Did you want to come inside?
I still maintain the position that when wintertime came and it was time to sell the calves, he was going to go with them, because after all, at the end of the day, this is a ranch and we are here to make money. We're not just going to be able to keep every single calf that we raise on a bottle. As the auction day gets closer, though, I'm looking at the bottle calf and I'm really just sort of beginning to accept the fact that he just doesn't have the pounds. He's small. He had a disadvantage from the start because he never got mother's milk. So there's that to consider. He won't really bring a lot of money just because he doesn't have the pounds. And then the other part of this equation is that I think my wife would actually be kind of mad at me if I sold him. She's never come right out and said that to me before, but some things really just don't need to be said.
Come on.
So with all these things being considered, I have made the decision to keep the bottle calf, and today is the day that he's coming back home. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Let's go grab him. For a ride? Sure, nothing hard about loading him, it's just different. we're back up here at the house now, and the only problem that I've kind of run into is that right now the ground is really wet, and that means that it's really soft. So it's really kind of impossible for me to get the stock trailer over to the pen where he's going to be staying without making a bunch of ruts and possibly getting my truck stuck. So I'm thinking that, you know, if history is a guide here, he's so calm and gentle even when he's just kind of out walking around, that I hope I can just sort of grab his tail and steer his head the same way I got him in the trailer. I'm hoping that I can just walk him right on over there. Now, I thought about maybe putting a rope around his neck or trying to put a halter on him and leading him over there. But since he's never done any of that before, my concern is that he'll be too worried about fighting that rope and pulling on the halter that it would end up doing more harm than good. So I think just walking him over there is going to be the best bet. All right, we have success. He is in the pen where he will live with the other animals here. Right now I've got him kind of split off by himself. My hope was that the donkeys would come up and they could kind of touch noses through the panel there, get to know each other a little bit, because I really don't know how the donkeys are going to react. Sometimes they can be a little bit violent with an intruder. That's why donkeys are used as predator control, because they have that natural instinct to kind of attack things that they don't know. He's big enough where I think he can kind of hold his own with the donkeys, but still I'm a little unsure how this is going to go. The donkeys are certainly a lot more curious than he is. I think the best thing that I can do is just let him out right now while I'm here, and I can kind of keep an eye on things and make sure that nobody gets too out of control. I'd like to have them all together tonight so that they can get in this shelter. If I leave him where he's at there, then he doesn't have access to it. So it'd be better if we could just put them all together. But like I say, this I don't know what's about to happen. You guys are gonna be nice. As the bottle calf entered the pen, all eyes were certainly on him. But honestly, looking at him, he really didn't care about the other animals. I kind of wondered if the donkeys were hanging back and kind of planning their attack on him, but after a while, I kind of just realized that they were afraid of him. None of these guys could work up the courage, and the bottle calf was just completely uninterested in what was going on. I figured I'd throw some hay out there. If we were going to have any problems, it should be when they're eating. And you can see what happened. Apparently quickly he went from being low man on the totem pole over at the ranch to head honcho here at the house. Even with 2 piles of hay, the donkeys gave him all the room he could ever want. Well, of all the potential outcomes that I had imagined, the donkeys being terrified of the bottle calf was not one of them. I mean, I should have known after I got done talking them up, saying how aggressive they can be, that they would turn out to be total cowards. But hey, I'm not complaining because everybody seems to be getting along. They're respecting him and he just doesn't really seem to care about them. The goats too, I knew that they wouldn't care. All they care about is hay. I keep waiting for something to happen here, but the donkeys, they just can't quite work up the nerve to get that close to him. So I guess that's a good thing. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.